You are listening to KSG Podcast. This is a short, crisp, concise, exam-oriented, edited editorial for civil services aspirants. In this podcast, we are going to talk about India getting first non-GM rice varieties. Source for the content is Harish Damodaran's article for the Indian Express. The Indian Agricultural Research Institute, or IARI, has developed the country's first ever non-GM. GM stands for genetically modified, so first ever non-genetically modified herbicide-tolerant rice varieties that can be directly seeded and significantly save water and labor compared to conventional transplanting. The varieties Pusa Basmati 1979 and Pusa Basmati 1985 contain a mutated acetolactate synthase gene, making it possible for farmers to spray Imazethapyr, a broad-spectrum herbicide, to control weeds. This dispenses with the need to prepare nurseries where paddy seeds are first raised into young plants before being uprooted and replanted 25 to 35 days later in the main field. The two new varieties were officially released by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 28th of September 2021. Paddy transplantation is both labor and water intensive. The field where the seedlings are transplanted has to be puddled or tilled in standing water. For the first 3 weeks or so after transplanting, the plants are irrigated almost daily to maintain a water depth of 4 to 5 centimeters. Farmers continue giving water every 2 to 3 days, even for the next 4 to 5 weeks when the crop is in tillering, that is stem development stage. Water is a natural herbicide that takes care of weeds in the paddy crop's early growth period. The new varieties simply replace water with Imazethapyr, and there's no need for nursery, puddling, transplanting, and flooding of fields. You can sow paddy directly just like wheat, said A.K. Singh, director of IARI. Imazethapyr, effective against a range of broadleaf, grassy, and sedge weeds, can't be used on normal paddy as the chemical does not distinguish between the crop and the invasive plants. The ALS gene in rice codes for an enzyme or protein that synthesizes amino acids for crop growth and development. The herbicide sprayed on normal rice plants binds itself to the ALS enzymes, inhibiting their production of amino acids. The new basmati varieties contain an ALS gene whose DNA sequence has been altered using ethyl methanesulfonate, a chemical mutant. As a result, the ALS enzymes no longer have binding sites for Imazethapyr, and amino acid synthesis is not inhibited. The plants can also now tolerate application of the herbicide, and hence it kills only the weeds. Director of IARI A.K. Singh points out, and I quote, "This is herbicide tolerance through mutation breeding, not GM. There isn't any foreign gene here," unquote. Both Pusa Basmati 1979 and 1985 have been bred by crossing existing popular varieties, Pusa 1121 and Pusa 1509, respectively, with Robin. The latter is a mutant line derived from Nagina 22, an upland drought-tolerant rice variety. The mutant was identified for Imazethapyr-tolerance by S. Robin, a rice breeder from Tamil Nadu Agricultural University in Coimbatore. Farmers in Punjab and Haryana are already adopting direct seeding of rice, that is DSR, in response to labor shortages and depleting water tables. This year alone, roughly 6 lakh of total 44.3 lakh hectares area under paddy in the two states has come under DSR. DSR cultivation is currently based on two herbicides, Pendimethalin, that is applied within 72 hours of sowing, and Bispyribac-sodium, that is after 18 to 20 days. As Singh pointed out, these are costlier than Imazethapyr, that is rupees 1500 versus rupees 300 per acre. Imazethapyr, moreover, has a wider weed control range and is safer, as the ALS gene is not present in humans and mammals. Even in the herbicide-tolerant rice, the chemical will target only the weeds. Transplantation in paddy typically requires about 30 irrigations, each consuming some 5 hectare centimeters of water. Puddling alone takes up about 15 hectare centimeter. In all, DSR is estimated to need 30% less water, save 3,000 rupees per acre in transplantation labor charges, and also 10 to 15 days time due to no nursery preparation. But DSR's success hinges on an effective herbicide solution like breeding Imazethapyr-tolerant varieties. That's it for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. To join KSG India courses and to crack the IELTS exam, visit ksgindia.com. You can also get a PDF of this podcast on ksgindia.com.